What's up? Yo, this brother Hatim coming at y'all live and direct. Now, I have a whole new system. I don't know how it sounds right now, but to make a long story short, I had some problems with my computer. Y'all know this, right? So I had to go to one of my brothers, and I was like, yo, bro, I'm having a problem. He said, brother Hatim, why don't you just go and buy you a computer? I said, well, I ain't got the money right now. So he reached into his pocket. He pulled out $3,000. He was about to put it in my hand, but all of a sudden, the IRS agent walked in the damn door and took the $3,000 and gave me an IOU, telling me that I owed him another $4,000. So I was like, damn, the white man is everywhere.
Man, you telling that story again?
That's how it works.
I'm like, hey, this dude just took my money. Hey. Go ahead. I'm as a sound check. Somebody just speak real quick. I want to make sure I'm getting y'all sounds across on the other side.
Well, this is Tracy.
Oh, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. Oh my God. Now, all right. So
we got Mr. Trey. We got Miss Trace. We got Miss
oh my
Nancy.
God.
Wow.
This is truly a blessing. Oh, we got a full house. Look. And it's
I'm
only
sitting and taking all this wisdom that's around me. I'm gonna be a student.
There you go. It's about to go down because this is Mr. Trailer gave me a bomb idea, and I need y'all to check this out, right? Mr. Trailer said, "Hey, why don't we do a folk tales for grown folks, where people could come, they can have a little bite to eat, and we can sit down and we can do the podcast live with a conversation amongst a group of about 20 to 25 people. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even including the people that will be able to call in. But we could have a nice little get-together. The food will be provided by Gye-Nyame Journey and stuff like that. And we can have a nice little event where we actually talking about the wisdom that comes from these folk tales. I would
just like to hate at this time and say, no, that's not going to work because you know how you people do. No, actually, that's a great idea.
Hey, you got a point. Shoot. My people rough, man. Hey, our people rough, man. I mean, hey.
They are, man.
Hey, cause sometimes I feel like Baby when he walked up into the Breakfast Club. I want some respect. Give me some respect. The three of y'all need to put some respect on my name. He ain't say respect.
E-C-K.
Right. Respect.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about coming out with a sauce called respect. Put respect on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, really, hey, we gotta get creative, man. And I'm thinking about.
I put that on everything.
I put respect on everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for every business opportunity I get, man. Because look, I'm telling you right now, another field that we can send our kids into besides making respect sauce. Nobody is really thinking about this shit. There's an epidemic of these goddamn bed bugs. We need to be getting some of our kids on designing ways of killing these motherfuckers, right? Because that is a business. Everybody got quiet on me on that one. Okay.
No, not big to me.
I'm sorry. Hey. I'm just, hey. All right, so what I want to do is first, I need to put on my solo music to make sure everybody there, if everybody here it has a timeline, if you could post on the timeline for people to join us. I'm going to post a link on my Facebook as well as the call-in number so that people can get it and call in because we about to have a good time tonight. Because I don't want to hold nobody too late because I am excited because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the future, how this can run. The only thing that I wasn't able to do, Brother Devin, was get the camera running. But once I get the system the way I want it, it's going to be like this. Somehow I got a lot of static in the background. Hold on. Yeah, that's from y'all. Them black people. Them black people. Oh, my God.
It's probably you.
Man, oh my God. You try to hook them up, man. It can't, oh my God. Yo, hey, so now, the folktale today. All right, I'm about to get into it. Are there any announcements from any of the people who have joined me tonight? Any announcements from anybody?
No, not for me.
Okay.
Well, we got some of our young people getting ready to be in a couple of different talent shows, but in particularly May 21st at the Barrick Recreation Center in Columbus, Ohio. The Columbus City Health Department is sponsoring a piece.
All right. Anything else?
That was my daughter with the grandbaby.
Well, that's my daughter. My daughter coming up to me talking about, can I read her a book? I'm telling you, they just want to get on radio. She trying to make me look like the bad guy. We're gonna show them who you really are. Can you read me this book? No, I can't read you no book. She in here laughing right now. Oh my God. And you said that was one talent show. Did you name another one?
Millennium Community School is gonna have their own talent show as well. That is I lost the date. I have to find that, and I'll get that back to you before the end of the show.
All right, cool. So we're gonna get that date. Anybody else got any announcements? Well, I'll go and start with one. We have a meeting, a parent meeting coming up for all those that's interested in Gye-Nyame journey for their kids, as well as December program. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of stuff going on. We got it coming up this Saturday. And I'm assuming that it's going to be at possibly about 3 o'clock, around the same time as our regular meeting.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
Now, also, so anybody that's interested in getting yourself or your young people involved with us here, at least here in Columbus, the meeting will be next week. So come on out and join us. So, we could talk about some of the things that's coming up, as well as some of the fundraisers, because we're trying to do a couple of local camp trips, as well as some of the brothers and sisters are trying to take some kids on a national camp that we usually participate in. All right. Also, I want to announce all of the people that are on here live now. First off, I want to thank everybody that's been listening and supporting the journey, because Friday, when I did my Friday night show, I had over 20 people listening live. For a lot of people out there, that might not be a big thing, but for me, I've been out here grinding for a long time, and I've been having 2 and 3 listeners. You know what I'm saying? And to get 20 at one time, I am thrilled, and I just want to let all of y'all know that I love you. But those people that join me on a regular basis and a semi-regular basis, or whenever they can, right? I want to send shouts out to Brother Charles Traylor out of Columbus. We got Miss Janice Raleigh out of Detroit. We have Miss Tracy out of Columbus, and we also have the Traveler Brother D. And we are going to have an excellent conversation. And in the midst of the conversation, one of the things I'm going to shout out some of the national sites where we got listeners at, because I want y'all to understand that what we doing is not just local. So we're not the only ones right now talking about these folk tales. We're not the only ones that's talking about this wisdom. So, hey, I mean, the movement is up and going, and hopefully everybody's getting something from this. So I'm about to jump into the folk tale. I need you to be quiet, Miss Sasha. Okay, I'm about to read the story right now. Y'all see how I work that? You gotta make paying her work for the both of you.
That's right.
The Bowman and the Lion. A very skillful bowman went to the mountains in search of game, but all of the beasts of the forest fled at his approach. The lion alone challenged him to combat. The bowman immediately shot out an arrow and said to the lion, I send thee my messenger, that from him thou mayest learn what I myself shall be when I assail thee. The wounded lion rushed away in great fear, and when a fox who had seen it all happen, told him to be of good courage and not to back off at the first attack, he replied, You counsel me in vain. For if he sends so fearful a messenger, how shall I abide the attack of the man himself? And the moral is, be on guard against men who can strike from a distance. Ooh. All right. One more time for those that's listening. Now, for those out there that might be listening in, hit us up at 614-556-4535. Here we go. The bowman and the lion. A very skillful bowman went to the mountains in search of game, but all the beasts of the forest fled at his approach. The lion alone challenged him to combat. The bowman immediately shot out an arrow and said to the lion, I send thee my messenger, that from him thou mayest learn what I myself shall be when I assail thee. The wounded lion rushed away in great fear, and when a fox who had seen it all happen told him to be of good courage and not to back off at the first attack, he replied, You counsel me in vain, for if he sends so fearful a messenger, how shall I abide the attack of the man myself? Be on guard against men who can strike from a distance. Now, who wants to take the first shot? Or y'all want me to start off?
Here, let me say this. So I'm just going to say really briefly that one of the things I spend a lot of time talking to my students about is whatever your first thought is about something, I need you to pause and think deeper. And I've had to literally teach them how to do that. And so I think that this folktale is all about a lot of people spend all of their time looking at what's right in front of them or what's far away from them. And again, like we talk about over and over again every week, people need to use discernment to figure out where danger really lies.
Is that it? Hello? Miss Janice? Hello?
Huh?
Okay. I couldn't hear. You cut off. Did you finish?
Yep, I finished.
All right. And because now, Miss Janice, because last week she brought it up, and she said a key word that all of us need to be looking at is the word discernment. Discernment. Being able to know something, almost at a glance, looking at it deeper than like the lion challenged this man without knowing anything about the man, without doing any prior investigation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us jump into decisions without really going in depth. Stop pulling it, little girl. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody else? Because y'all know I'm ready.
Yeah, I look at it from a perspective. One of the perspectives I look at it from is that when the civil rights movement was going on, Martin Luther King was counseled against taking the non-violent, stance, and there were people that warned him that he's dealing with an enemy that can strike from a distance, and he's dealing with an enemy that don't play fair and don't care if he's wounded or not. That they will take him out, and against that counsel, Martin Luther King continued, in his violent way, and it is ironic that a man who lived and breathed nonviolence became a victim of violence, the very violence that he was, marching and preaching against. And the other piece to that is that, you have people who caution Malcolm X, about the stance, that he was taking, for black folks to defend themselves and to arm themselves and he was also warned about that same, enemy, but he didn't heed. He didn't heed that. He still came out and extolled, black people, to arm yourself against this vicious, an unrelenting enemy, that cares about you. And he also, was a victim of violence. And the last thing I will say is that you have people that sit in the shadows, and they don't have the courage to stand up, for anything, and they'll sit back and try to whisper to somebody else to not stand up. You know what I'm saying? And like when white folks, lynched and castrated, black folks and hung them out for everybody to see, they were sending a message that, that was their messenger, was the black folks hanging from trees and castrated with their tentacles in their mouth and women with their bellies, split open. They kept them on display as a reminder to all other black folks, if you dare to rise up against this enemy, just the same thing will happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Striking from a distance. Now, anybody else? Because y'all know how I get.
Dude.
Y'all, you better. Hey, Devin, I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got, man, but you sound good on here, man. What you got, a mic too?
I don't know. Is it maybe because we're using the same equipment? This makes me think of the old adage when somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them.
Right.
Because the fox seems like that individual that's saying, well, you should give such and such another chance. He said, no, this person had already beat me over the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and believe that. I don't know what he's talking about. You haven't even had any interactions with this man or this individual to give me any type of counsel.
Well, hold on. I will say that everybody, in a sense, had some dealings with him because everybody ran away. Because if we go back to the beginning and say when the Bowman went to the forest in the mountains in search of game, but all the beasts of the forest fled at his approach. The lion alone. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else, in a sense, maybe felt the sting or knew somebody.
So you saying the fox said, "Go ahead and take that L for everybody else."
Take that L for everybody else. The fox was. We all done had that individual who never been in the scrape that we were in at the time. That would look at us and be, "Oh man, it ain't that tough, man. Get back in there." You know what I'm saying? Like when you were struggling in college. And you know what I'm saying? And a person that never really did any homework in high school is telling you, "Oh man, it's not that rough." Or you in a fight. Go ahead.
Or somebody trying to tell you how you could get rich or what you can do about a relationship or something like that.
And they ain't got it.
One of their own or no money or nothing.
Well, damn, girl. Damn, Tracy, you ain't got to tell my business.
Oh, sorry.
And also somebody that, they trying to create some distance from a threat themselves. And so what they want you to do is to jump out there so it can be a distraction, you understand, away from them, and they can just go on and do what they need to do, and without, bringing attention to themselves, but you be the sacrifice.
Now, and also what I want us to focus on too is because when we look at these stories, let's don't look at them as individuals. We got to remember the roles that some of these animals played in other stories. We know that the fox was an individual that don't mind making a come up off of somebody else's downfall. You know what I'm saying? So we got those individuals in our community that will put us up to do the fight, but wait for us to be the sacrificial lamb so that they could benefit off our sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had that going on. We got that going on in our community all the way around. You have people standing on the sidelines gathering enough information, just like with Gabriel Prosser. It was people on the side that told on him. Nat Turner, it was people on the side that informed on him. Even when we look at the struggles into the 60s, it was always those people on the fringes that was looking for some type of reward, because I'm thinking the Fox. Because when we look at the history of the Fox in the stories, the Fox done sold out the ass. The Fox done sold out. The Fox done sold damn near everybody out in the damn stories.
And I'm gonna tell you what else. What the Fox also does is the Fox wanted the lion. The Fox wanted the Bowman to finish the lion off so that he could feast on the lion.
He could get some of those leftovers, huh? So he was looking for a benefit. So oftentimes we got to be very careful about those people that are encouraging us, especially when we marching towards our death or metaphorical death. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things now is with all this political correctness, it's hard for us to identify our enemies now, because everybody is speaking nicely. Everybody has upgraded their language software so that they can say just the right things at just the right time. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be very careful. You know what I'm saying? Because some people could be whispering to us and leading us towards our death.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
That happened. That happened all throughout the 60s, the 70s, and right up into the day. You have, double agents within our community, that lived among us, but worked for our open and historic enemy.
But not only that, let's bring it home. How many of us had people in our lives that hyped us up to be the sacrificial lamb so that they could make a come up in their personal life?
Right.
I'm sitting here I'm sitting with a group of outspoken people. I'm sitting here with a group of people that think you gonna know when something's not right. So somebody might encourage you to speak up when it might be against your best interest, and they might be able to make a come up.
Well, you know what? And I go back to a line that Denzel said, and as Frank Lucas, in that movie, he said, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. And I've been around a lot of loud talking, brothers, who talk real loud about, the cause and the movement and all of that. And you step out there, to march with them, and next thing you know, you in the front.
You in the front.
And you look around, and ain't nobody behind you.
I used to get in fights like that. We laugh, but I used to actually get in fights where the person that basically promoted the whole goddamn fight would actually disappear by the time the fisticuffs started.
Right.
All through high school, that was one of the major reasons that my grandmother sent me, basically kicked me out of her house and told me I had to come up here and live with my mama. Because she said, you will not die in my house because you're so quick to go out here and take up for these niggas that won't take up for you. They don't even look out for your best interests. I said, wow.
Right.
Wow. Right. Grandma, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know my friends. Little did I know that grandma was psychic, right? You know me?
Oh, man. Check it. That's the thing about Aesop, too, is that this may even tie to another one, which is the fox and the lion. When the fox met the lion for the first time and was afraid of him. And so, since he's afraid of him, so I see something that is attacked him and wounded him. Then I can finish off this individual that I fear, or this community that I fear.
Right. And then also we got to look at the Bowman, because the Bowman wasn't just a regular Bowman. He was a skilled, You know what I'm saying? This is somebody who have mastered it, and many times we may find ourselves in situations where we have not followed the basic rules of war. Know your enemy and know yourself.
And one of the things when you talk about the Bowman, he said something else that was significant. He characterized his bow, the arrow. He characterized the arrow as his message, as his messenger. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I ain't gonna kill you right now. I'm just gonna send you a message, and let you know that I have the power of life and death over you. And I looked at that, aspect of it. And he said, and because when the fox tried to tell the lion to go get him, he said no. He said, the lion, said no. He already gave me a messenger. He already gave me a message. So if I can't,
if I can't handle the messenger.
Yeah, right. So I can't handle the one who sent the message.
Right. But but now on the Bowman's end, right? Some of us are not making effective use of our arrows.
Right.
Many of us are not shooting our arrows to let people know the greatness that lies within us, the greatness that is coming. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And in not doing that, we kind of rob. We rob ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We rob ourselves of the victory. We take away the victory. It's in a sense we almost surrender because we're not even using our tools. And in a sense, this system kind of neuter us to a point where we think that we are impotent and we don't have the weapons.
And that's what I was going to say. Psychologically, we have been convinced that we cannot defeat, this enemy, that we cannot do anything against the Bowman. It's almost like the elephant, who is a baby elephant, and they put that little chain around his ankle and put that stake in the ground, and that elephant too small to pull away from that stake in the ground. Well, psychologically, the elephant grows up to become tons and tons, and those elephants at the circus can pull away from those stakes, but psychologically, they don't think they can, and they don't even try.
Right. Mm-hmm. We surrender our power. You know what I'm saying? Because really when it comes down to it, I don't care how skilled the Bowman is. If the lion is able to get within a distance that is favorable to the lion is going to win. But once the lion felt that pain, the lion didn't want to go nowhere near him. So sometimes, even in the battles that we fight, sometimes all we got to do is send those messengers. You know what I'm saying? All we using the arrows that the Creator has given us to in a sense, send the message out there to our enemies as well as to our possible clients, customers, or whatever. Look, hey, you know what I'm saying? You can't handle this little arrow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're going to be ready for me.
And guess what else? Economically, there's too much distance between the wealth that, white folks have amassed in this country and the lack of wealth that black folks have. And we, to a degree, psychologically, don't ever think that we can be as wealthy as them because we're looking at wealth from their perspective. We're looking at wealth, on their terms. But wealth don't necessarily mean money.
I was riding home today and I was listening to something about Mansa Musa. And those that study Mansa Musa know that Mansa Musa is known historically as the richest, not just one of the richest man in history. And I'm thinking about how when I'm listening to these shows about gold and investing in gold, They're talking about how there's only so much gold in the world right now. And I'm wondering how much of this gold we got today actually came from the coffers of Mansa Musa. You know what I'm saying? Because he went through Egypt, and we know that Egypt was conquered and run during that time. After the time he went there, well, actually, the time he went there was Arabs there. We know Arabs and Europeans have. Let me rephrase that. We know East Asians, Middle Asians and Western Asians have been fighting over Egypt for a long time. How much of that gold that flows into Western Asia, also known as Europe, comes from the coffers of Africa? Comes from what Mansa Musa dropped out there willingly. You know what I'm saying?
Probably all of it.
You know what I'm saying? Because now when it comes to us amassing wealth, we have shown that we have the ability to amass large amounts of wealth. Now, and I think if anything, we lead the world in generosity, and give it to others. For some reason, we don't like giving it to those that look like us, but you look a little bit different. You know, we're gonna give you a little bit more money, because that's what I think that's why our communities can't hold no money in it. But that's just my thought. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but that goes back to those arrows, man. We're not wisely using those arrows, because economics is an arrow, politics is an arrow, entertainment is an arrow, academics is an arrow. You know what I'm saying? Are we as the skilled bowmen shooting the arrows properly? Because this lion is eating our ass up. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're not sending the right message to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, heal, sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Are we? You know, and I think we really need to really start having conversations on how to properly use some of these arrows, because we know we're not using them politically right, and we know we're not using them economically right. We know we're not using them. We know we're not using any of the arrows right. So maybe we're not the skilled. Maybe the story should read for us: the foolish bowman and the full lion. I'm sorry. I need my siren. Where the explosion at? The foolish bowman and the full lion. There we go. You know what I'm saying? Everything is delayed. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my baby. Anybody else? Nothing else? Alright, for those new, you might want to join the conversation. 614-556-4535. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You are now listening to Folk Tales for Grown Folks. This is a Heart of a Simba production. You know, we always strive to blow up those old paradigms. You know, now. So I'm going to read it one more time, so just in case there's some Jews in there that we might have missed. And of course, one day we'll come back to this, and we're going to be like, man, we missed a whole lot. A very skillful bowman went to the mountains in search of game, but all the beasts of the forest fled at his approach. The lion alone challenged him to combat. The bowman immediately shot out an arrow and said to the lion, I send thee my messenger, that from him thou mayest learn what I myself shall be when I assail thee. The wounded lion rushed away in great fear, and when a fox who had seen it all happen told him to be of good courage and not back off at the first attack, he replied, You counsel me in vain, for if he sends so fearful a messenger, how shall I abide the attack of the man himself? Be on guard against men who can strike from a distance. You know what I'm saying? We got to be wise about those who can strike from a distance. We got to be, also, I'm looking at this, and really, let me be this way. Let me say it like this. In reality, would the man be as harmful as the arrow if he actually got up on the lion? Or was he bluffing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
well,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
And a lion, And the lion, submitted himself. He submitted himself to the Bowman being superior, to him. And I think what the fox was trying to, say to him was, that he hit you, from a distance, but if you stay in there and get a little closer, you can neutralize, his ability or his skill with that bow, because he won't be able to, because if you get up close to your enemy, it's very hard for your enemy to do the same damage to you if they were at a distance. And what I say to that is this, is that we as a people, when we look each other in the eyes and we see that human being looking back across at us up close and personal, it is very hard to step back at a distance and then do any harm to that person.
Kind of like keep your enemies close.
What you say?
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies close, what type of deal? Look, when you just read this again this time, Master Ha, the fact it led me to question what type of lion is it? Bowman went to the mountain. So are we talking about a mountain lion, or are we talking about a lion that typically lives in the prairie that may have been out of place, been out of his environment? And so, along with Mr. Trailer's point about being from him shooting him from a distance, makes you think of a boxer, somebody that has a reach. Can affect you with their jab, but once you get inside that guard, it becomes a totally different type of fight.
Right.
That thing that they can use at a distance is no longer effective, and they can be touched.
Oh, yeah. Right. I mean, think about this. The lion, in a sense, was like the last stand for the forest, far as because ASAP tells a story in a world where men and animals have not totally separated yet. Animals are having discussions. So in a sense, the lion, in a sense, was the last stand to keep this man out the forest, out the mountains, or whatever he was coming into. Now, once he got one good lick on a lion, and the lion was hurt, the lion lost confidence, and the man gained confidence. Now, I'm going to tell you what we saw this in many of our lifetimes. I remember at one point in time looking at Mike Tyson as an unbeatable machine. Like I used to think about scenarios where Mike Tyson said some shit to my mama, and I really would have to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? I had to be like Ice-T when he ran into Tookie. I had to yell at my mom, well, what you doing in this way then? I mean, but seriously, you looked at Mike Tyson as this unbeatable, because the image that he had built and the image you just seen him, like you would go to a fight and this unbeatable lion would walk in without a towel, without with no socks on and no cape. He would walk in and knock some. It was at least 3 fights. It took me to learn in 3 fights. I had to learn that you don't go get popcorn right when Mike Tyson come out to start fighting. Because it was 3 times that I walked away and walked back in the room and be like, oh, man, y'all lying. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But that first time that Mike Tyson got touched up, the whole world knew. You know what I'm saying? The whole world knew, and he knew that he was no longer unstoppable. Because I'll argue up to that point, he was unstoppable. But at that one point in time, when that chink in his armor got found out, that's when he was brought down to earth. Now, that lion was in the same position because when that man shot him, even though we know that a lion up close to a man is going to whoop that man's ass, but once the confidence was knocked out, and I think for us as a group, and some of us as individuals in our lives, like that lion, somebody shot that warning arrow. It hit us, and our confidence has seeped out of us. You know what I'm saying?
And also to Devin's point, you know, that lion was used to, you know, easy victories, was used to easy victories, much like Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson never won a fight that wasn't up close.
Right. You're right.
Every fight he lost was a fight from a distance. Every fight the lion, you know, when the lion lost this fight because it was from a distance, not up close.
That's true. Wow. Stick and move, right?
right.
Man, wow. So, anybody else? You're going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Uh-oh. Somebody spoke. Okay, going 3 times. Man, hey. So, the story for those that are just now catching it was the Bowman and the lion. Don't be scared. Step up, join us. You can put your phone on mute if you want to just be close to the conversation, just in case you want to say something. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you can check us out on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You can check us out on Folktale for Grown Folks through our Spreaker channel. I'd like to thank each and every last one of y'all. Mr. Charles Traylor, where's my applause at? Give me a second, y'all. I got to put applause on. I knew it was something that I forgot. You know, I mean, I'm working with some different equipment, but I'm just trying to see how the future is gonna be. All right, so you know, I want to thank Mr. Charles Traylor, Ms. Jonas Rowley, Mary Tracy, and the Traveler, Brother D. That's right. Give it up again, y'all. Come on, man. So I won't give out the folktale for next week until it's close to. So we all got a time to look at it. I mean, those that want it, maybe I could post it to you or send it to you or whatever. Anybody out there that want it, I can post it to you, send it to you. All those that are interested in the meet and greet for the journey, right? For the meet and greet for the journey, check us out at Hatim, HA2TIM at Gye-Nyame-journey.com, or hit us up on the Facebook page. You know, if you're gonna be in Columbus, I haven't decided a date yet, but I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna make sure we got food to eat. We're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk to those people around the country. Now, also I want to send out shots to all those places that's been supporting the journey in the last 7 days. Of course, 93% of the people that's listening are from United States, 2.5% France, 1.3% Ghana, 1.3% Australia, and 1.3% Canada. Shouts out to Columbus, Ohio, Akron, Ohio, Philadelphia, PA, Grove City, Brooklyn, Ypsilanti, Michigan, Accra, Ghana, Dallas, Texas, Marietta, Georgia, and Brisbane. And last but not least, I want to send a shout out to Brother Chadbourne. Oh, how you say it? Brother Chadbourne, Delford Chadbourne, because he just sent me another story full of fuckery that I'm going to have to go into. All right, you know. So I got to put some respect on his name. So shouts go out to Delford Chadbourne, and I send all of y'all this new and powerful word that has been pushed into our culture. I send respect on all of y'all. I'll put it all on all of y'all name. Let me say your name with respect. Janice, Miss Tracy, Traveling Brother D. You know what I'm saying? I send shouts out to you, Tree. All right, hey. But hey, I want to thank y'all for joining me. I love Bo. I love all of y'all. So thank you. And hopefully I'll see you next week. Invite some people out. With that, we're going to say peace.
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 See you on the $20 bill, man.
Mr. Diddy.